And now, from New York.
Arthouse at your house.
And now, say hello to
Lexi and Glenn.
Tuning in. I'm Lexi.
I'm Glenn.
And what are we doing here? Well, we are doing these videos as often as possible, and this time we recommend Frank Tashlin's 1960 film, Cinderfella. And Glenn, why did we choose this film?
Well, we chose it because Jerry Lewis is one of the greatest artists of all time. We also chose it because it's available on HULU for streaming. Now, for those who might not be familiar with Cinderfella, it's exactly as it sounds. It is a sex-swapped take on the classic fairy tale. Now, before we move on, I am interested to know what's some of your history with Lewis, if any.
Well, my history with Jerry Lewis started with your recommendation, which motivated me to watch Cinderfella and The Ladies' Man. What's your history with Lewis?
So, my history is also fairly recent. I started watching Lewis over the last 2 to 3 years, I'd say, which is odd considering I have family members who love him. Now, I don't recall his work being ubiquitous throughout my childhood, but I'm glad that he's here now, that's for sure. What were some of your impressions of the film and of the man?
My first impression of Cinderfella was really just how charming the film itself is. I was really impressed with all of the ballroom sequences, how ornate and how magnificent they all were. And Jerry Lewis is really the total package.
Some might argue he's the total filmmaker.
No argument there. He is so funny in everything that he does, not just verbally, but the total control that he exerts over his body. It's phenomenal. Absolutely outstanding.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Your mic is dripping, by the way.
Now, for me, what stands out about Cinderfella is the director, Frank Tashlin. Now, I say this, but for those of you who might not be, if it doesn't ring a bell, Frank Tashlin was one of the earlier directors on Looney Tunes, and he helped to establish a lot of the style and the tempo that you would see, which later directors like Chuck Jones comes to mind would sort of build on. And it serves as a pretty neat foreshadowing for what the duo of Tashlin and Lewis would do just a few years later, which is probably the epoch, by my account, The Disorderly Orderly. Now, with Cinderfella, I think it's an interesting first film to watch for those who might not be familiar with Lewis's oeuvre, because it sort of serves as an analog to Lewis's life, the rags to riches story. Now, beyond that, the surreality of the film, I would say, is important, especially as we're sort of working through everything going on in the world right now. It was a real treat to get to spend some time in that world over these last few days.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. If you want to check out Cinderfella, it is available on YouTube with the...
It's available on HULU.
It is available on HULU with a subscription, and we thank you for watching. Hope you'll tune in for the next one. And that's all the time we have today.
Thanks.